On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Tony Khan has a bold prediction for upcoming AEW TV rights. Impact and NJPW announce a multi-universe united event, and there are 3 matches already set, and Tony Khan is certainly open to working with WWE in the future. Folks, reading your favorite wrestling movies, some wrestling news, because it's time for the Turnbuckle. 2023 is an important year for AEW, as they will begin negotiations with Warner Bros. Discovery and possibly other monolithic media conglomerates on a new media rights deal. And while many are wondering how much of a raise AEW will get as part of their next TV contract, owner Tony Khan isn't sweating at all. In fact, while speaking with Uproxx, Khan delivered a bold prediction regarding the next rights deal AEW makes. I expect big increases in the rights for AEW programs, and we're on a good pace to make a very lucrative deal for the AEW media rights going forward, Khan said. As for a potential AEW streaming service or deal, which AEW was rumored to be pursuing last week, Khan played it coy, though he does believe the promotion has the content available to be majorly successful on the streaming front. We've done 174 episodes of Dynamite, 80 episodes of AEW Rampage. Our 17th pay-per-view event will be March 5th in Revolution, so we've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of AEW content in our library, Khan explained. I also purchased Ring of Honor last year, which is a great promotion with over 20 years of history, thousands of hours of video in their library. So overall, AEW has access to so many great wrestling events, including some events that are widely considered to be some of the best wrestling events of all time. I do think there's a lot of demand for the library, and it makes a lot of sense for us to try to make that AEW library available to fans all over the world on demand. Obviously, there must be a lot of different stuff in the works, and Khan has I feel like Khan's confidence is like mainly coming from the fact that I feel like he knows that AEW isn't really going anywhere. It's doing really well, and the companies are really happy with everything. So I think that Tony Khan pretty much knows he's got this one in the bag, so I guess what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to wait and see in the near future what Tony Khan is going to do, I guess, because so far, the article said, he's doing his, what did he say? He's, the streaming, there you go, the streaming deal. Sorry, he's doing the streaming deal, and that's, gotta be, something to do with his confidence as well. So, we're, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what he's gonna do in the near future, and time will only tell if that has anything to do with maybe a new, the new streaming service deal. Next, we're gonna talk about Impact and NJPW announcing a Multiverse United event. Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling are teaming up for a joint pay-per-view. The promotions revealed on Thursday that Multiverse United, Only the Strong Survive, will take place at the Globe Theater on Thursday, March 30th, 2023. It will air on Fight TV. Josh Alexander vs. Kushida, Jeff Cobb vs. Moose, and Speedball Mike Bailey vs. Will Ospreay will have been announced for the show. Will Ospreay is the best professional wrestler in the world after me, Bailey said of his match, so this will be the best professional wrestling match of this year. Kenta, Rocky Romero, Minoru Suzuki, Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, Fred Rosser, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay are advertised to appear as well. The Impact Knockouts division will also take part in the show. We are very excited for this unique collaborative event that brings together 2 of the best wrestling companies in the world, said Impact Wrestling Executive Vice President Scott D'Amore. Since NJPW returned to Access TV just over a year ago, we have been looking at ways to expand our working relationship between the 2 brands. Multiverse United on March 30th at the Globe Theater in Los Angeles is the first of many exciting collaborations between Impact and NJPW. NJPW Representative Director Takami Obari said New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact have been a winning combination on Access TV, and now fans get to see these 2 companies share the same ring in person. I personally cannot wait to see what arises from this special card, and I can guarantee fans will experience a historic event, the likes of which they've never seen before. I'm very excited about this just because I like when companies collaborate, because it just means it's not even exposure. It's just hey, we've got a really big event going on. We've got a lot of very talented wrestlers. This is a potentially I don't know how to. It's like a hey, we're gonna this is something that we're potentially gonna do more in the future. Granted, this goes well. I just feel down the line we're just gonna have to see what comes out of this, and what other companies are gonna not even with Impact, maybe with MLW and Progress. We're gonna have to wait and see. So I'm very excited, and we're just gonna have to see who teams up next. Finally, we're going to be talking about Tony Khan and how he is certainly open to AEW working with WWE. Well, speaking on WTF with Mark Maron, Tony Khan was asked about working with WWE in the future. Khan made it clear that while he is not certain it will happen, he is more than open to the idea. Who knows? It's something I would certainly be open to, and I think it's an interesting thing for the future. It's not something that's ever really been done. They've kind of existed in their own space. We are working with a lot of wrestling promotions, and at times they've done stuff like that. But it would be a really interesting thing to see at some point. I think it's like Marvel and DC. You don't see those superheroes really crossing over very much. I think there'd be a lot of jostling for who's going to be positioned stronger. It would get very political. So obviously, like Tony Khan, I'm not necessarily throwing WWE and AEW on the table. I will say this. I'm going to throw this out there. I think that is potentially going to happen in the near future. I think that WWE and AEW are going to be like gliding, you know, and like one day they're just gonna like look over at each other, and one of them, it can be either one. I feel like one of them is gonna be like, you want to do it, and the other one is gonna be like, yeah, sure. And I feel like if it's not gonna be some sort of like a mini, like it slots into a pay-per-view, an established pay-per-view already, if it's not like a strictly just one match deal, like I feel like there's also a potential crossover like that could happen in the future as well, you know, calling back to the last article. But yeah, man, I don't want to sit here and say that is something that is going to happen in the future, but I would be remiss if I said that that is something that is just like never, like, don't even think about it, you know what I mean? Like, if I were you, I wouldn't leave it off the table entirely. I would just like, you know, just like slide it over, you know, out of your peripheral role, and just sort of like leave that where it is, you know. So I mean, listen, who's to say? You know, I feel like it's actually gonna happen though. But listen, we're just gonna have to wait and see who really pulls the trigger first. So only time will tell. What do we talk about? Tony Khan is a bold prediction. He's very confident, and that's good. I mean, listen, all right. If there's anything you're gonna be when you're talking about, you know, a media rights deal, I feel like confident is probably the best thing to go for. So that only bodes well for the future with AEW, you know, and Tony Khan with his relationship with Warner Media. And I mean, so far the only thing we really have to go off of is the streaming deal, and I mean, it could be other things in the works that we don't necessarily know, so we're just going to have to wait and see what that is. Impact and NJPW announced I like the multi-universe united, okay? I'm loving that. Like, it's some sort of, like, grand meeting, you know? For some reason, I keep thinking that it's this big, like, here's where all, like, this major story stuff is going to happen. And I'm like, no, that can't happen because, like, wouldn't that just be too much, you know? But then I'm like, do you think that they're potentially gonna do some sort of like story-driven match? You know what I mean? Do you think that they have time to put that in the card? That's the question that I'm really like battling with right now. And I guess really the only way to know really is to, you know, see what happens. So that doesn't take away from the fact that the pay-per-view itself is going to be, you know, absolutely amazing, which another big point that I really want to, you know, get across. Also, Tony Khan, he's certainly open. He's open. I mean, take that with what you will, right? Like, he's open. How open? You know, you gotta, you know, get him in a corner and ask him. There's just no way that he's not gonna do it. Like, obviously not now. That's what I'm saying. When they're gliding, when they got the steady flow. I mean, maybe if Tony Khan gets a couple more views, maybe Nick Khan will start looking over. Maybe Tony Khan will get into a groove. You know, maybe this Vince. Oh, you know what? Maybe this Vince McMahon thing will blow over, right? And they get sold, bada bing, spada bing. They got that all taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, time's passed, you know what I'm saying? And then they do it, you know? I'm not saying it has to happen now. We're just going to have to wait and see, folks. That's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs all around.